Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and freedom will be defended.
Right, oh my God, another plane has just hit another building, flew right into the middle of it. Explosion.
There was a huge explosion sound. Everyone came out. A large section of the building is blown out.
2 planes into the towers of 1 and 2 World Trade Center. A 3rd plane crashed into the Pentagon.
What is your name, age, and where did you grow up?
My name is Ramon Dario. I grew up in the Bronx, and I am 46 years old.
What historic event were you in?
I was in actually 2 events. I was in the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center, and in 2001, 9/11.
Okay. And how old were you when you witnessed these events?
Yeah, 9/11 I was 37, and 93 I was about 31. Math might be a little off.
Where did the events take place, both of them?
Both of them took place in the World Trade Center.
And what was your role in the events?
Well, both roles, I was, 93 I was an officer of a Japanese bank. In 2001, 9/11, I was Vice President of Operations. We had finished moving to One World Trade Center from number 2. We were going through a merger of 3 banks. And there were a lot of new staff members to that building, and they didn't know their staircases or evacuation methods. So my duty that day was make sure that those staff members got out safely.
So you had to help them, you had to guide them?
I had to guide them to the correct stairs. The building was designed where all the staircases don't follow all the way through to the main floor. Some of them go down about 10 floors, then you got to go across the building to the middle staircase to get down. A lot of people didn't know that, so we had to guide them to the proper staircase.
Confusing.
Yes, it is. Well, it's a big building.
Yeah. Did you volunteer your time for this event, or were you thrown in?
It wasn't an event that you really could volunteer for, but I was a volunteer to be a safety warden from my floor and section during both 93 and 9/11. So at that point, you really can't volunteer for something of that nature. But I did volunteer to be a safety warden, so kind of volunteer, but not officially at that point.
How did you feel about the political policies of the event, I guess?
Back then, I'm not sure what was happening politically. I know that we were still trying to fight a war against terrorism back from 1993. And I know we were still trying to find, Osama bin Laden due to 93. But, again, these political wars and religious wars are something that's going to continue to happen for many years. So I don't recall much of 9/11, what was happening politically. I know President Bush was president in his first term, and I believe he was in school when it first happened.
Yeah.
The reaction afterwards, I think, was fine to find exactly what happened and who was behind all this. The invasion of Iraq, I don't agree with, neither Afghanistan, as we're not fighting an army, we're fighting a cause, and it's very difficult to fight a cause.
And those are your views on it now, right?
Absolutely.
Alright. What were your duties during the event, and how long were you involved in it?
My duty during the event was to make sure that all my staff get evacuated safely. As I stated before, a lot of staff members were new to the building, so they didn't know where the evacuation staircases were. So my duty was to get into the staircases. Downstairs, we were on the 59th floor. So as coming down the building, remember now you're getting everybody from all the other floors, so there was kind of a bottleneck. So it took us a bit to come down. We were the first building that got hit, the second building that came down. So as soon as we got downstairs, people didn't know where to go. I mean, me being in that area since 1984, I knew the building well. So I got people out into Broadway towards the Brooklyn Bridge, and I asked my staff to go over the Brooklyn Bridge into Brooklyn, and then they could find their way home from there. The scariest part was once we came out of the building, there was debris falling, and we saw some body parts on the ground, so there were a lot of people who were shaken. So I I remember grabbing these two ladies' hands, crying hysterical, and I literally had to almost drag them out of the building. I saw a cop outside, and I told him to look up. He said it was okay, but there was nothing coming down. I was afraid of we walk out and things coming down on one of us. So I stood by the entrance of the door, kept looking up while I escorted people out, and I finally got my staff out.
Wow.
My company did lose 22 people on that day, none of them from my area, but from the other building we had just moving from, which they were on the 80th floor. Those people never made it out. The people on our floor and all my staff members, they were in the office that they did.
Wow, good.
There was one lady who actually wanted to go back upstairs. She left her pocketbook at $600, and I told her no. And the next day when she saw me, she thanked me, because if she would have gone back up, she would have fell with the building.
Wow.
So,
Do you know how long it took you to evacuate around?
I think about 45 minutes took us to get from 59th floor out to Broadway. About 45 minutes or so.
That's pretty good though, considering.
Yeah, we were really rushing down the stairs. There was water coming down. We don't know at this point if it was water or jet fuel, so I remember it had a really distinct smell, which I never smelled before. I knew it wasn't water. Water doesn't smell. And the water probably mixed with some jet fuel.
Wow.
But it was scary coming down. We saw burn victims coming down, firemen coming up, and we're going down. And I know the firemen never make it out.
Wow.
Yeah, I still remember some of their names. I remember their names back.
Wow.
He doesn't go by there. I remember those guys. After 9/11, what I missed most was my wife and kids. I didn't get home till the following day. I stayed at my brother's house that evening. I was calling the rest of my staff, make sure that everybody was okay. And the following day, we were going back to New Jersey to our disaster site. Every bank in the country has to have a backup site. Ours happened to be in New Jersey, so my brother drove me to the PATH station, and I got to New Jersey, and we were actually up and operating back the following morning. I worked a full day. I didn't get home till 7 o'clock the following evening. My wife was very upset that.
What was it like coming home?
Very emotional. I remember Matthew, my son, holding on to my leg. Michael was still a baby, but Matt was very clingy. My wife couldn't let me go. All my family friends from across the street, the Rubinos, were here. Very emotional, very emotional.
I can imagine. What's your advice for young people based on your experience?
Yeah, advice is most companies do evacuation drills. Take them seriously. I know a lot of young people who have it in the back of their mind of what happened. Think it's really a joke, but it's not. I mean, I saw people get nervous, frightened, get paranoid. Know where your exits are. Really follow the guidance of whoever is in charge that day. You know, it could happen not just that tragic event, but it could be a fire, a flood, and if you don't know how to get out of your building, then really bad things could happen to you or your staff. So get out of your building, know where your exits are, follow directions. It is, when you do those drills, take them seriously. It's not really a joke.
What is the best way people around the world can help each other?
I think we need to treat each other with respect and respect each other's religious beliefs, backgrounds, nationalities. We're all one person. We're all one people, I should say. If we all turn each other inside out, we all have a heart, 2 lungs. You know, you couldn't tell us apart. So why should we do any differently because of skin color, religious beliefs, so and so on? We're all humans. We should all just respect each other, you know, our religious beliefs, and just treat each other with respect. On the state of current affairs, I think we need to concentrate on alternative energy. It'll make us less dependent on foreign energies. I think we need to get out of Iraq and Afghanistan eventually.
I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
The resolve of our great nation is being tested. But make no mistake, we will show the world that we will pass this test. God bless.